Answers of an Alien from Andromeda, Video 139, February 5, 2016. At this meeting will be answered by Mithy the questions chosen by the members of our chat. Friends, we have been on a mission external to your solar system to assist in the passage of 2 colonies to level 1. They were peaceful settlements. There were no major problems in social organization and presentations of members of the CG. It was a good mission for more knowledge we aggregate in the social context. Questions. Mithy, I understand that the show must go on. But I got only one question. Will Earth integration and open CG contact take 100 years, or are we talking about 2 to 5 years? Please do not use the word soon. Lucas, soon you will realize that only depends on the finalization of the plans of your current elite. The cataclysms are increasingly stressing the planet, natural and artificial. They know they are on borrowed time and a lot has been transferred to Mars. The second and third tier supporting levels of your elites will win as a gift the subterranean bunkers with a promise to reign on the planet after the gradual elimination of the population. Empty promises in the reality of facts. By the pace of things, I believe that somewhere in the next 12 months, that is, anytime. Mithy, what is causing the unusual dimming of light from the star KIC 8,462,852? Is it a megastructure built by an ancient race? If so, what race built it, for what purpose, and are they still alive today? That star does not have orbiting planets. It has been encapsulated for energy use. She is already encapsulated 1,300 years ago. But the question is relevant. I never explained this before to you guys. There are stars with soft burning in their reactions, and when there are no dependent planets of its light and heat in their field of gravitational influence, some cultures with many colonies and interplanetary operations as Camelopardalis manage the release of regional CG responsible to make such encapsulation with Crewline's supervision, which is a high source of inexhaustible energy for the useful life of that orphan star. Many thousands of orphan stars have already been encapsulated in this way. But that was a technological step that has already been replaced by other sources of energy much less costly to implement. Mithy, what is this 9th planet the scientists are looking for that is affecting the other planets in our solar system? Has this always been there, taking 12,000 to 20,000 years to round the Sun, or was this object placed by the CG? Can you tell us anything about it? Kefi, Thomas, there are many huge and desolate planets circling the Kuiper belt in its 2 billion miles in thickness. You could not seize them nor with your best telescopes, and some of them really influence your planets of the outer orbits for millennia. But what your scientists detected was the Nibiru system that was relocated by Crewlines exactly for that quarter, and for being a recent case, brought changes and contrasts that drew their attention to the region. The system Nibiru began to be accelerated to their original orbit. Who decides the borderline levels of intrusion that it can generate are the Crewlines. And they know when and how to rebalance the system that includes not only your solar system but a number of other balances in the trajectory of the Nibiru system. You possibly will be able to see the system leaving the solar system, but the trajectory is set for them and we do not have any information about it yet. I can only say it will not be observed close to your Sun like you guys are waiting. Will be visible in another quadrant coming from the south. Mithy, can you give us some example of what kind of DNA abnormalities as we consider them now, and capabilities unknown to us will children born at level 1 have? And what can we do to help our children strengthen these abilities? Hidalgo, will be no drastic behavioral changes. The level 1 beginner will still be near 0 and should be developed to the level 2 with time. Children born at level 1 will have a capacity for discernment and differentiated learning, if directed with care and encouraged in their natural tendencies, will be next responsible for the new generation that will receive the level 1 pure from father and mother. At this stage, let's say they will be level 1 but still under the guidance of 0 levels. So if you guys are still parent 0 level, try to be level 0 plus. With an open mind to the new reality and awake to this new era of the planet. Mithy, can you give us a physical description of the Arcturians, please? You said humanoid dolphins, but this is too vague. Do they look like our dolphins? Do they walk on land? Do their ships contain water that they move within like we do in air? Do they speak with words or are telepathic? How does an Arcturian person look, height, appearance, colors, and clothing? Tanya, it may be that in his next incarnation as level 1 you choose to be born in a colony Arcturian level 1. Will be on your right if you want. Yes, before you ask, in the 4th dimension from the level 1 on, can be made interracial exchange in specific cases. If you show a great appreciation for some special culture, can choose to embody the specific culture to an attempt to adapt. Well, back to your answer, yes, they are humanoids, are from different lines ranging faces according to the species matrices. Has an average height of 2 meters, 100 kilos, skin ranging from white-pink to dark gray depending on the breed. All they walk with legs and breathe as you air. They love to swim and dive where they can spend more than 15 minutes underwater. Their ships have no water inside, are normal for humanoids standards. They are happy for the most part but communicate with them with dialect and telepathically, with other advanced races telepathically, and with less advanced races use an instant translator device. They usually wear with anatomical overalls with insignia of the race in the right shoulder, and the coat of their fleet on the left side of the chest. The color varies with the fleet, white, gray, black, silver, etc. Do not worry about appearances. There are even now many type of races, some normal for our standards, other bizarre at first sight. Humanoids like we are exist since 1 foot to 10 feet tall, but what matters is the spirit that inhabits that body. DNA and genomes variations, caused by different types of environments in different regions of the universe, have caused such discrepancies, but this is simply called the power of adaptation. Mithy, as volunteers, what type of guidelines is given, or do you allow volunteers to go on instinct? Are there specific guidelines for volunteers to follow, or will there be any special training? What kind of discipline is there, if any, from what you have seen in the past for those who do not follow your guidelines? Tammy, at the time that volunteers may be needed, they will be contacted and will participate in the complementary nature of the action plans that are adopted for their language region compatible and knowledge of behavioral nuances of their culture. He or she will help in the rescue ships, and act as a spokesman for intermediate situations with his people. For these functions it shall be consulted and receive instruction in all that he has doubts. A person who sees may help those who still did not seeing. I would like to know if twins babies identical or not have a special connection to each other in connection to their souls. Not Renee, are different souls. The fact of having been made as twins, triplets or more in the same gestation is because of accidents in ovulation caused by remedies or physical changes, and sometimes it's genetic because of some mutation of genes occurred in the family. Besides the fact of having been made together, from different ovules or shared ovule, they will have nothing in common spiritually. Mythy. Several evidences occur day after day that the footage showing the inside of the ISS are fake, and the scenes are made in airplanes plunging. Other scenes seem to be shot in the water. We really have an ISS in orbit? Yeah, you guys have a space station in orbit, but the dependencies and internal appearance is very different from those shown to you. The station is completely militarized, panels, radars, telescopic camcorders, far-reaching and diverse conventional weapons are an integral part of the interior. The scenes that CB showed me with laptops and other conventional instruments really are a complete fantasy. Most scenes of astronauts working outside are also false because the amount of circulating spacecraft would be impossible to cover up, even as many spacecraft approaching from Curiosity all the time to observe the strange technology and appearance of it. Soon you guys may have more transparency of information, have patience. So my question has to do with the current culture technologies used by members of the galactic community. I know CB touched on some tech, while he visited your ship, but other examples with explanations how they basically work would be fascinating. Also to do with culture, what do you like to do in your spare time, what common foods are eaten, and other details about everyday life? Not a very pressing question, but I think it would relate us a little more. Well Jake, this is a long subject but I will try to summarize. The technology used on our ships is not entirely standard for all ships of other races. Each chooses his methods and customs. Our ships have workplaces where each uses their knowledge to add to the routine of the mission is in progress. Our feeding place is equipped with compatible infrastructure with the races that are part of the crew, and we don't need to have stock of food or water since we have small portals connected to our mother ship which in turn redirects to the sources of supply of food and water needed. Other breeds with older technologies require local stocks of food and water. If we lose connection with our mother ship we can request support from the Antarctic base to supply the necessary in the case of our mission here. We also have areas of rest where we can come together to talk, consult the database to take questions, chat with friends and hometown relatives, playing holographic games, or to isolate ourselves each in their own personal space to listen to music, take a shower or sleep without being disturbed or bother. In my case, one of my distractions in my spare time is to observe how things are going with you. We used to consume lots of types of juices, many tasty fruits all over the galaxies. But we also consume prepared food with vegetables and proteins to complement our diet. Mythy, an interview with a man, now quite old, who claims to have been on staff during the 1947 Roswell crash says that there is one alien still alive being held at the Johnson Space Center in Houston. That he was left behind for giving Earthlings fiber optic technology, and as a result, has had to be an ambassador. He expressed a desire to the man to go home, that he hopes that perhaps enough time has passed that he may now be rescued. Is there any truth to this? Karen, I think this question has already been answered long ago. The alien in question was a biotechnological unit and was for a long time in power of your military. Certainly the alien scientists may have given tips of older technologies, some non-military utilities as a gift. The previous question was with respect to Matilda Nurse, who interviewed the entity for some time and eventually interpret information simplistically distorted in some of his interpretations. This unit would not be rescued, must have been switched off only, after a few years. Friends, very nice to answer your questions this visit, and always remember, heaven can be created anywhere. It is the place where you feel happy, sharing this happiness and feels in complete peace of mind. No use you live in a castle, surrounded by moat to prevent the less fortunate disturb you. This is not the paradise. This is where you will be at least parked at your level and not advance 1 millimeter in your spiritual evolution. Happiness to exist in fact has to be shared, as the sunlight illuminating and heating those who touch, regardless of who it is. See you next time with new questions or in any extraordinary edition. Be well all.